police case number, the Office of the Medical Examiner's case number, and the telephone number. Lori stated she would let her daughter know of the death of her father. Before I talk about the autopsy, I want to talk about Lori being notified and what happened. So we know that she didn't tell Annie. Lori asked her to come to visit them to comfort Tylee. And that even though Annie was upset at Lori for not telling her, she wanted to be there for Tylee, and that's why she went. Annie says that Lori was very casual, quote, "That really took me back. When I got there, it was as if nothing had happened. People were hardly talking about Joe, and when Lori did, the tenor was she would actually say the world is a better place without Joe Ryan." She also noticed that Tylee and Lori had a strained relationship. There was also a lot of tension between Tylee and Lori, she said, and that Lori didn't want Tylee and Annie to be alone talking. Annie then sent text messages to her daughter complaining about Lori and how she thinks she's a sociopath and her delusions and how she lies about everything. It's also at this meeting where Lori tells her like about the end times and how she thinks she would be better off driving her kids off of a cliff. And I think that's also really important to note, because that tells me her frame of mind at the time of Joseph Ryan's passing. She's already fantasizing about her children's death. She's already obsessing about the end times. Remember, this is happening before that recording, right? This is a few weeks after the passing. Before that recording, before those emails with Chad that we know of, she's already talking about driving off a cliff with her children. That tells me her frame of mind during Joseph Ryan's passing is the same frame of mind she had when Charles Vallow was killed, Tammy, the kids, all of that. So if she was already thinking like that, and we know that that's what she was thinking when she did those things, is it hard to believe that while she was thinking those things too, this ex-husband that she hates, that her brother had attacked, winds up dead, and she's the beneficiary of the policy, and she doesn't care and she doesn't tell anyone about it? And speaking of not telling anyone about it, let's talk about this letter. Remember how I read you in that incident report when they notified her, they gave her all that information? Well, Lori wrote it down, and it was dated April 13th, 2018. But Lori changed the date to make it look like April 18th. Okay, I'll let Annie explain it herself.
And Lori had written these notes. In fact, that's kind of what got all of this started. I threw these notes into the True Crime Underground group, and it was a really fascinating discussion. I'll include a link to that. But like someone noticed, and these people are so smart. You know, there are just thousands of people following this case. So you throw something out, and it's like throwing meat to sharks. You know, they just tear through it, and they find all of these different things. So several people had noticed that this had been a 3, and she turned it into an 8, like to make it look like she was called by law enforcement on April 18th, but it was actually a 13th. So I think she was just trying to edge a little closer to when I had reached out to her.
I'm getting flashbacks of pretending that my D was a B. She's pretending that she didn't know about it when she did, that she knew about it later, because she knows that it looks bad that she told Annie about it even later, right? Which again makes me think she's not crazy. A lot of you guys think she's crazy, and yeah, she probably is like not normal, but she's not so crazy that she doesn't know what she's doing is wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's a level of crazy where like there's a level where you don't even know what you're doing is wrong, and then there's Lori's crazy. Oh, she knows when to turn it on and off. And sometimes she kind of like has no filter and it sneaks out, but she still knows. So now let's talk about the autopsy. The first thing is that Annie herself says that there are inconsistencies with the autopsy, that Joseph Ryan's height and weight was completely off, and that, you know, that is kind of like a red flag for her as to just how accurate or how reliable the autopsy is. Now also keep in mind advanced stages of decomposition. I don't know how they can, you know, I saw a picture which I'm not going to show you guys because it's just too much. Even for me, it's too much. Okay, but it was like a liquid, you know, like I don't even know if they could weigh that, if it was something like a solid piece. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's so graphic, but I don't even know if they could determine the height and the, weight from what the remains were. You know what I'm saying? But so let's talk about the autopsy. Let me pull it up. This is the autopsy. It's very short. Autopsy supplement. So I don't know if we don't have it and this is a supplement. I'm not quite sure. The cause of death is officially arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease, manner of death natural, and it says on 4/19/2018 I contacted the Maricopa County Forensic Center, reference the post-mortem examination results for this case. I was informed of the findings as follows. The cause of death was that huge word that I just said, and the manner of death was natural. The investigation conducted by the Phoenix Police Department supports the findings of Maricopa County Medical Examiner. This case is now closed. Done. The next suspicious